I want to call the October 5th, 2017 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting to order. And I'm not sure, I haven't talked to Commissioner Koger. He's probably going to mention Las Vegas in his prayer, but why don't we take a moment of silence to remember all those folks who lost their lives, including several first responders. Thank you. And I might also remind you that at 6 p.m. at Smothers Park, there will be a memorial service over there as well. So hopefully, unless some of these commissioners talk too long, we'll have our meeting done in time that we can get over there. Commissioner Koger, would you open the meeting with a prayer and a pledge?
I will. Please bow your heads. Our Heavenly Father, please watch over our community, the homeless, and those who are in the hospital for a speedy recovery. Protect us from all harm. We humbly thank you for all the gifts we receive from you. We ask that you watch over all those who protect us, especially those men and women who serve in the armed forces, law enforcement, fire departments, and all emergency services, including first responders. We ask for the wisdom, understanding, and courage to make right decisions for all of our citizens. We pray for all the shooting victims and families in Las Vegas, along with the families in Florida, Texas, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, who has lost everything, including their loved ones. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner, and once again I want to welcome everyone to our October 5th, 2017 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. Jenny, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Item 1, consideration for presentation. A, proclaim October 2017 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Whereas domestic violence is a behavior pattern used to establish power and control over another through fear, intimidation, and abuse, and whereas annually 3 million men experience domestic violence and 1 in 4 women will experience it in their lifetime, and whereas domestic violence does not discriminate, affecting all races, ages, genders, and income levels, and according to HUD, domestic violence is the 3rd leading cause of homelessness among U.S. families. And whereas 2 of 3 female murder victims are killed by a family member or intimate partner, and children living in violent, abusive homes are likely to suffer from physical and emotional health issues and difficulties in school. And whereas annually America spends $37 billion on domestic violence-related medical expenses, sheltering and foster care, law enforcement and legal costs, sick leave, absenteeism, and low employee productivity. And whereas without a coordinated community effort to end this heinous crime, girls witnessing domestic violence are more vulnerable to abuse, and witnessing boys are likely to become perpetrators, thus continuing the cycle of violence. Now therefore, I, Daviess County Judge Executive Al Mattingly, proclaim October 2017 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Daviess County, Kentucky, and urge all citizens to learn more about preventing domestic violence and to support and show appreciation to the many local agencies and volunteers who provide protection, advocacy, and assistance to domestic violence victims. Shelley Abel, Nichols. Are you who? Nichols. Shelley Nichols. Sorry, you were forever. Yeah, Shelley Nichols with Oasis is here. So would you come forward, and both of you guys are coming?
She's the board chair too. This lady's the board chair.
Okay. Let me give you, yeah, why don't we come down, commissioners, we'll get a picture. We've been doing this lately. Kind of gets the commissioners to moving, it gets them out of that stupor so they don't fall asleep during the meeting. Oh, we're going to wait to get the commissioners here. We're coming. We'll do this. I'm sorry, I called you late.
Judge, Commissioners, I would just like to thank you so much on behalf of OASIS staff, board, and residents for proclaiming Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's so important that our community be aware of the cycle of violence and how it's encompassing. I have with me Suzanne Craig, who is our OASIS board chair, with me today supporting me. Last year, OASIS served over 587 women and children in shelter. We took over 3,000 crisis calls, and we had over 1,500 clients in our outreach services. Domestic violence is a crime, it's prevalent, and it's real. So it's very important that we get the awareness out and promote the awareness in the community so more people say no to domestic violence. Thank you. Suzanne, do you have anything?
That we thank you for your support. We thank you for your encouragement. This is a big deal. Like if you go across the state and talk to some other communities, they don't have the same support as this proclamation made here today. So I think that speaks volumes about your all's commitment to the community and living in a community free from violence. So I really thank you all for supporting our work, and we're going to have a visual. What's the date?
October the 24th at Smothers Park.
At what time?
Judge will be there at 6 o'clock.
I will.
And so we invite the community, we invite you all to join us, and it's a peaceful demonstration in order to honor those who have passed away and to promote the awareness of domestic violence. So we thank you for your support.
Okay. Every time I see Suzanne, I just remember she's the DC Caps lady. So, thank you both for what you do in our community. Commissioners, any comment? All right, next item.
B, Daviess County Extension District's 2017 tax rates.
Commissioners, in your packet you have a copy of the tax rate as adopted by the Extension District. It's just a presentation. I will tell you, I serve on that board. There was no increase in the tax rates to the citizens of our county. You'll also find a Daviess County Extension District financial statement behind that, and I would call your attention to page 19 where the auditor gave them a clean bill of health. So that's for presentation. It is on file here with the county if anyone would have any questions. Commissioners, any question? Okay, next item.
C, Treasurer's Report for August 2017.
Mr. Hendricks.
Cash balance at the end of August was $29,223,948. The general fund was $10,500,091. The funds are performing as anticipated. I'm unaware of anything negative to report to the court.
Any questions of the treasurer at this time? Next item.
Item 2, consideration for approval A, minutes of the September 23rd, 2017 court meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the minutes in your packet for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion and second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable with Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession. Do you have any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
C, Metalsa MOA regarding Daviess County Economic Development Funds.
Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. David, are you going to handle this?
Yes. In the packet, you all will see a MOA signed by Metalsa at the July 20th meeting. The Economic Development Advisory Board came before the court and recommended an agreement, an MOA with Metalsa out of our Economic Development Fund for the amount of $339,000 for the creation of 113 jobs for Metalsa. At that time, you all gave approval, so to speak, of Claude to go on and draft an MOA. And that MOA has been drafted, and Metalsa has signed it, so we're ready for you all to approve it.
This is pretty standard, has the clawback provisions in if they don't live up to their end of the bargain. They're pretty good paying jobs, 113 pretty good paying jobs.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
D, renew medical, vision, dental, and health benefits for the fiscal court and county clerk and authorize the county treasurer to sign any and all related documents.
Move to approve.
Second. Mr. Hendricks.
This is our annual renewal for our benefits. Usually it says the judge on that line also, but the judge already has approval to sign all the documents. I've reviewed them. They reflect what we anticipated as far as what the benefits are unchanged, and these documents reflect what we anticipated and what we agreed to with Anthem. Unless you have specific questions, these are again to renew our health insurance, the dental insurance, the vision, and the life. So I recommend approval.
Any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
E, purchase equipment trailer for the road department.
Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion second. Jordan, are you doing this one, or do you want Mark to handle it?
I can handle it.
Okay, then we'll get Mark involved.
Yes, as the fiscal court received 3 quotes for a new heavy-duty spring assist equipment trailer for the road department. IMCO Incorporated of Madisonville, Kentucky is the lowest quote received. We recommend purchase of the Interstate 20 DTA trailer in the amount of $13,768.14.
Mark, you came and asked for it, and I said not until I look at it. We went out and looked at it, and you can't repeat what I said about it.
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, it's a piece of equipment that's used regularly and sorely needs to be replaced. So, any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
F, advertise bid numbers 37 and 38, 2017, 1 elevator maintenance service agreement and fuel monitoring system.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge, the elevator maintenance, this is simply adding this service to our list of service contracts that we assess annually. We have 2 units at the Judicial Center, 1 unit at the Kirtley Annex, and 1 unit at the courthouse. The fuel monitoring, this bid affects the county's fueling stations at the Operations Center and the landfill. The current system is obsolete, consists mostly of manual data. I'm hoping to bring a solution to the court that offers improved internal controls in accordance with good business practices, and hopefully something that will give us digital data to assist in statistical analysis.
And again, this is permission to advertise.
Advertise
Any
only.
question or comment, commissioners? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
G, fire department employee promotions effective October 8, 2017. Eric Coleman to assistant chief, Ronnie Bobo to lieutenant, and Brian Cecil to engineer.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioner Caslen, do you want to talk about the interviews and what you guys did?
Well, we obviously selected these individuals, but we had a very strong pool of candidates for each one of the positions, and I think we're in good shape going forward.
Okay. Assistant Chief Coleman, would you want to stand up? Congratulations. Welcome. Thank you for serving, and congratulations on the appointment or the selection. Lieutenant Bobo, stand up. Same to you. We're glad to have you, and we're pretty pleased and proud that you guys moved up through the rank. Brian Cecil, our engineer, and the same to you, Brian. Don't we have one more to look for or look at while I got you here, Chief? Aren't we looking for one more to? This is a trickle up effect.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Assistant Chief Fuqua retired, and we've done our promotions, and now we have a pool of candidates to interview, and I believe it's the 16th or 17th of the month we will be conducting interviews to hire a new firefighter.
And several of those came out of our volunteer.
Yes,
fire
we've had
department
several
as well.
come out of the volunteer service, as well as the KCTCS is having the fire science degree program.
Okay. Well, it's nice to have the volunteers there to act as a feeder system into the,
Yes, sir.
and they do a great job, as do all of our paid staff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, guys. Any other comment, commissioners?
Just say congratulations. Me too. You're doing a great job.
Okay, there being no other comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
3, consideration for appointment, A, James Coleman to the Daviess County Public Library, term 9/13/2017 to 9/13/2020.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, Mr. Coleman is one of those that was sent to us by the Board of Archives and Libraries as being qualified to serve. He is going to take Louatus McNeil's position. Louatus took a position with, I think, Northern Kentucky University. And since he moved out of the county, one of the requirements is you have to live in the county. Mr. Coleman was submitted to us, and he was selected. So I want to thank Louatus for his service. I think he did an excellent job while he was there, and I'm sure Mr. Coleman will do the same. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
B, Susan Montalvo Gesser to the Daviess County Public Library, term 9/13/2017 to 9/13/2020.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Again, Commissioners, Susan Montalvo Gasser comes to us. Well, Susan, I didn't see you over there, girl. As being vetted by the Board of Archives and Libraries. I'm very pleased to have Susan here. Susan has worked with the migrant community, and I know that she will have a passion to take the services that the library offers out into the community, as opposed to having those folks come to the library. So I look forward to Susan serving. She's taking Polly Reynolds' place. Polly served 2 terms. I might say that Polly and I, we didn't always see eye to eye or get along, but we had a healthy respect for each other, and I do appreciate Polly's service to the community. Any question or comment?
I just want to say, and I said this at the library board meeting, that I thank Polly for serving, and I also thanked her for her as board chair. She was very deliberate in the things that they discussed and voted on, and while, as I told her, members of fiscal court didn't agree with where they were going at one point. We, as you said, we still had respect for one another, and I think she did a good job.
Don't have to agree on everything, but as long as you do it civilly and communicate your thoughts and feelings, I don't have any problem with that. What are you laughing at over there, Austin? All right. Any other question or comment? Susan, since you're here, do you have anything that you would like to say? You're welcome if you have anything. Are you going to leave right after this? Okay, because I wanted to hug you. All right. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
4, ordinances, A, second reading of KOC 621.17 2017, 11 2017, an ordinance relating to the Daviess County road, bridge, and street system.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, as you are aware, if we don't have a road or a street or a bridge in our road and street index, we can't spend money on it. And we update this thing on a regular basis, at least once a year, whenever we take roads and streets in from subdivisions and things like that. We have to update. In the copy that you have, all the changes are in red. Mr. Engineer, do you have any questions? Or comments? I'm sorry, you don't have any questions. Do you have any comments?
I do not.
Okay. Commissioners, any question for the engineer? Any question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
B, first reading of KOC 910.617, 1217, an ordinance relating to goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan.
This is first reading, so we don't need a motion in a second, but we can talk about it, discuss it. KRS 100, which is the statute that controls zoning in a community, requires that the community have a comprehensive plan. And all a comprehensive plan is a list and set of goals and objectives. It's kind of talks about land use, how we want to use land, where we want to group businesses and residents and those kinds of things. The statute requires that it be updated once every 5 years, and this is the update. I think all of you, Mike, you were not here the last time it was done, but 5 years ago we did the same thing. Any changes that are recommended are listed in red in the comprehensive plan that's in your packet, and many of those, if not all of those changes, were made as a result of suggestions by elected officials or the public. And there were several public meetings held, as well as I think Brian and his staff contacted elected officials as well and talked to them. So any questions, any comments? One of the things I'd make the comment, one of the things that I attended the meeting for public comment, and we had some folks from the agricultural community there, and they're concerned about the ever-expanding subdivisions out into the rural community. And while most of us have some agricultural background or rural background, and we know about the sights and sounds, and particularly the smells of agriculture, and if you don't believe me, go out Highway 56, they're spreading chicken litter. There's always that tension between someone who would buy a home in a rural subdivision and agriculture, and you know, they bought it in the spring when nothing was going on, and then in the fall when they start harvesting grain or fertilizing the fields, all of a sudden they think that we ought to be able to stop the farmers from doing what is normal and natural. There is a portion that says strive to resolve conflicts to preservation, the conflict between agriculture and rural subdivisions. Another thing that they talked about is striving to resolve the conflicts to preservation efforts presented by local, state, and federal regulations. One of the biggest issues in trying to get downtown buildings rehabbed is the requirement that if a substantial remodel goes on, that building has to be brought up to current codes, current standards. And with the energy codes that we have and some of the other things, it makes it almost impossible. And lots of times people will buy the property with the intent to do it and then get into the middle of it and find all these codes, and that causes some tension between them and the elected officials. So I'm going to leave it go the rest of the way. We will have second reading at our next meeting. Any questions or comments? Any question or comment by the public? Next item.
First reading of KOC 520.217, 1317, an ordinance of the Daviess County Fiscal Court and the City of Owensboro jointly creating a new section in Article 3 of the Owensboro Municipal Code prohibiting the operation of golf carts, low-speed vehicles, or utility vehicles on all public roadways, streets, or highways within Daviess County and the City of Owensboro.
Again, it's the first reading. Commissioners, you all are fairly familiar with this. Back, I guess it was the last legislative session, the law was amended regarding the use of golf carts and ATVs and those types of vehicles where they could be used to deliver packages, specifically packages, because it was UPS who was pushing the law. But it didn't limit it to UPS, meaning that you could have pizzas delivered by a golf cart. You could run a lawn service and drag a lawnmower behind you. And they were available to be used on any street that had a speed limit of 35 miles or less, which, I mean, that just, inside the city of Owensboro, it takes up just about every street. Out in the county areas, you have some pretty big subdivisions. And if you've got to go across, say, 54 to get from from Lake Forest over to the Downs, they're going to take the golf cart across Highway 54, and you guys have too much to do without having to go out there and wash down a spot in the road. they pretty much, the legislature pretty much tied our hands because they said, the legislature said, that within 60 days of receiving notice that someone was going to use golf carts, we had to either pass an ordinance. If we didn't allow it already, we had to pass an ordinance that said you can't. Now, Claude, the use of golf carts and ATVs on county roads and city streets is not legal anyway.
It is not.
It is not. So we're not changing what a residential person in a subdivision can't do. He
Correct.
can't do it anyway.
Right.
But what we are saying is that our hands were tied if we didn't act within that 30 days or 60 days, then they could do it, and we had no control over what was going on our county streets and roads. So I met with City Manager Parrish, Mayor Watson, and the City Commission had first reading Tuesday evening, and this is a mirror ordinance.
It is the same ordinance.
The same ordinance. So there you are. Any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? Okay, next item.
Item 5, consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court. I am not aware of any.
Hot dog. Are we 8 months into none?
I believe so.
We're going to set 10 months. We're going to set a record. So just remember that, Mark. Don't come over here and tell me you got to buy something. Next item.
B, public comments.
This is a time during the meeting in which we invite the public to come forward, identify themselves at the podium, and you're welcome to talk about anything other than what was on the agenda. No takers? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Sarah Snyder, and I live in the
I'm sorry.
My name is Sarah Snyder,
Okay.
and I live in the Heartlands. And I'm also part of Nonviolent Owensboro that has been out in front of the monument every Thursday. And my statement is very brief. I just think we need to continue the conversation, and we will continue the conversation at the next meeting as well. But I just wanted to say that I think it's very important to send the message that we're going to treat all citizens equally and all residents of the county equally. And I do not think it is appropriate to essentially tell one group that their history is important and that we will honor it, and to tell another group that their history is irrelevant and to get over it. I think we need to treat both groups the same and honor the history of both groups and act accordingly. Thanks.
I absolutely agree with you. Thank you. Anyone else? I would be remiss if I didn't recognize our jailer, Art Maglinger, out there and say thanks to Art because he got the cemetery cleaned up.
I drove by that today and it
looked good.
was mowed.
Okay. Art, welcome. You're not here asking for money, are you? Good. Fire department got it all. Next item, Denny.
Comments by Daviess Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Koger.
No comment, Judge.
Commissioner Wathen.
Well, you know, most of the people in this room know what I'm going to say, but I just wanted to make sure we acknowledged the fact that our judge got a major award.
He's referencing A Christmas Story where it's not a leg lamp either, is it?
This week he received the Wendell H. Ford Regional Legislative Leadership Award in recognition of legislative leadership, and it was presented by the Green River Area Development District. So I just wanted to make sure to acknowledge that and make sure that everybody knows.
Thank you, Commissioner. That was a shock and a surprise. Senator Ford's grandson, Clay, presented it that night, and that was pretty cool. And a little known fact, Senator Ford always referred to himself as the boy from Yellow Creek. And the first 6, 7 years of my life I spent in a house adjacent to Yellow Creek. I could see Wendell's home place from the house that I lived in, so that was pretty special, and thank you, Commissioner. As I said in the paper this morning, couldn't have done it without you guys and all the staff that we have. So, Commissioner Castlin.
Other than to say congratulations on that
Thank you.
pass.
Thank you. Just one thing, and again, I want to remind everyone that there will be a public vigil at Smithers Park at 6 p.m. For the victims of the Las Vegas shooting, and everyone's invited to be there. Next week is fall break. I've been calling it spring break, and Jenny keeps saying I've already been on spring break. It's fall break, so I hope everyone is safe. We used to have a young man by the name of Nate Pagan that worked for us, and now he must be down in Florida himself because Hurricane Nate is ready to hit the panhandle. Nate never was very big or very mean, so maybe he won't be as bad. If there's no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court, without exception, we're adjourned.